What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so I don't think that it's any secret that Bronny James, the son of LeBron James, is struggling mightily in this summer league. Um, Bronny James, of course, there's a lot of media attention surrounding him. He's the son of LeBron James, who is pretty much almost always at the epicenter of the basketball world, especially I would say over the past 10 years. Um, and, you know, a lot of people, as far as, in the media, were looking to see how he would perform. And for the most part, it's been pretty much what we expected, if not even worse. He's bad. Let's be honest. He's bad. And former NBA player Kermit Washington expressed concern about Bronny James's mental well-being so far during this situation, as far as his play. And he said on a live stream recently that he has um, concerns about Bronny's mental health, which he believes is impacting his confidence and improvement. It says, quote, uh, they're really trying to help LeBron's son be successful, but just in my opinion, and it bothers me, is that he's not ready for pro ball because he's 6'1", he's a point guard, and he has to have really good handles, and he really doesn't have really good handles yet. Next, you have to be a good outside shooter, and he's not a good outside shooter. I feel bad for him because I know even though you see him smiling, even though I know you see him smiling, he's suffering inside, and he's trying to find out, how can I make it? He has no confidence out there at all. So if I was LeBron, first of all, I would say to my son, okay, we got to get you in tremendous shape where you can play defense, you can hustle, you can beat people up and down the court. Bronny reminds me a lot of Gary Payton's son. He just hustles and he's a very aggressive player. People say LeBron's son is making a lot of money. Well, he's never been without. He doesn't know what it is to not have money, so he doesn't have that desire to be such a great player to provide for his family and make money. And said, I hope that they work with him and they're slow with him. I don't want him to see something tragic happen because mentally he's not doing well. You can tell he's struggling out there. You can look at his face. You got to have a plan for him. He's just not ready. But since you're already made him ready, please save the kid. Don't let him suffer out there. You have a game plan. You're going to play this many minutes, play great defense. You got to be a great hustler. That's the only way this young man is going to be successful. Look, a lot of us said that he should have went back to school and work more on his game and then come back at the earliest next draft. But a lot of people wanted to rush this process. Um, you know, his father wanted to have this father-son moment. And I think there was a lot of pressure on Bronny to come out now, and he's just not performing up to expectations. And ESPN is not doing him any favors, in my opinion, pretending like he's playing well when in reality he's not. Okay, so look, Kermit Washington is a guy that knows a lot about struggles, not as far as his play, but because of an incident that occurred. It was either 1977 or 78, one of the years. It might have been 77, where he nearly killed Tom Jonovich with a punch. And I think Kermit was with the Lakers at that time. And he was effectively barred from the NBA after that. Um, and he went through a lot of turmoil behind that. That one decision, um, which really, to be honest with you, it was a reaction. And I think had he saw what really happened, he wouldn't have done it, but it was a mistake, and it was a life-altering mistake. So I know that Kermit Washington is probably very sensitive to seeing players struggle out there or to be scrutinized. Look, I always said this. To me, Bronny James, if he's not playing well, you got to call that out. Can't sit there and pretend like he's playing well and he's not. But at the same time, I'm just not really surprised that that's not, he sucks. I'm not surprised. I mean, none of us should have expected him to be a really good, a great player. I didn't expect him to be this bad, but it is what it is. So look, I think a realistic bar for him at the very best, is a Gary Payton level player, Gary Payton Jr. I should say. That's pretty much as good as he's going to get. He's going to have to work on, as far as, like you said, his conditioning so that he can play on a high level on both ends of the floor, try to be a great defensive player, try to be valuable in that aspect. He may not be a great shooter. He's not blessed with a lot of size. He doesn't seem particularly fast. So he's going to be limited in how good he can be. And as a matter of fact, now I think about it, I think Gary Payton Jr. is a little bigger and stronger than Bronny, and probably a little quicker. So Bronny's just going to be very limited in how good he can be, man. And Kermit Washington makes a good point about how, other players, other people, they hungry. You know what I'm saying? They're struggling. They want that contract. They working and they have to fight and do everything they can to make it to the NBA. And part of it is they want to showcase that they have skills and they're good enough to make it to the league. And then the other motivation, obviously, is to secure that money to provide for yourself. Bronny comes from privilege, and that's why, with very few exceptions, a lot of people that come from privilege, they don't have that innate drive in them. Now, there are exceptions. Bill Laimbeer. Bill Laimbeer was a fierce competitor, as we all know, but he came from privilege. But that was something that was internal in him. That was something that he was born with. That was a rarity. Most people that come from privilege, even if they have the talent, they never maximize it because they don't know what it's like to struggle. They don't have that motivating factor that's pushing them like other people. And I think that's part of what's wrong with Bronny too. So while, I think LeBron has good intentions providing for his son, it just may not be in Bronny's DNA to be a great player. You know what I'm saying? Just gotta be honest. I don't think it's in his DNA to be a good player, to be honest with you. But it is what it is, man. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.